After dropping down the idols, after challenging the tyrant of his time, Nimrod, Ibrahim alayhi salam is going to be facing a punishment from his people. You can't be doing this to us. And just as Ibrahim alayhi salam was questioning the power that the idols have, just like Ibrahim alayhi salam was questioning the power and control of Nimrod, they are going to put him to a punishment that he still questions the power of the punishment they are going to put him to. They were told to collect wood, firewood, and they did this for 3 days and 3 nights. And they lit the fire that was actually supposed to be burning you before you reach the fire. And they put him at a long distance on a huge catapult that they're going to release him to be dropped into that fire. He's afraid for what is coming up ahead. He knows it's tough. He knows the fire burns. He knows this is something that everyone knows, the fire burns. But just as he questioned the control and the power of the tyrant of his time, Ibrahim alayhi salam was not going to accept the fire to have control over burning. And this is a powerful lesson through Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he says a statement, Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for me and He is the best handler of my affairs. Fire is just fire. And this is a profound lesson, even without looking at what Allah did afterwards. Okay, what Allah did was, Ya nar kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. O fire, be cool. Be a source of cool and a source of peace to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And the fire did not burn Ibrahim, burnt the clothes on his body, but did not touch a hair on his body. And this is what actually submission does when you really submit. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming to Ibrahim alayhi salam in ways that are not usual, because he has put down all control from everything else. These idols control nothing. Nimrod controls nothing. The fire controls nothing. I'm actually going to submit to the one who is behind the fire. How does this apply to us? There are some things that Allah has given us and we see them moving continuously. And by extension, we think that these things are actually the ones providing for us. As the breadwinner of the home, by providing for your family day in, day out, something within your family members makes them think you are the Razak. And when you are having a relationship with someone that you love them so deeply that you always think maybe these people are the Al-Wadud. And what Ibrahim alayhi salam is teaching us, that on our way to belief, on our way to understanding who the real God is, who is the being that we are supposed to all be submitting to, it is the point that he is able to differentiate what are the means and who is standing behind the means. Fire burns on natural occasions. But who makes fire burn? Fire in itself inherently has nothing that burns. Fire is told to burn by the command. And we think by seeing these things that happen, the sun rising from the east, fire burning, the laws of gravity, the laws of buoyancy, the laws of flotation, we actually think that Allah is governed by them. And clarity comes to us to a point that we realize that Allah is the one who is actually controlling them. They are not in control whatsoever. And a beautiful thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam unleashes when he's afraid of the fire, but he submits to the one who controls the fire, he unleashes a profound lesson that Allah works with the means. So when you want to cook your food, you place the cooking pot on the fire is going to burn, and so your food is going to get ready. Allah works within the means. And so it is true that this is the majority of the things are in this boundary, are in this closet, that we are doing things and Allah is letting them work, and we think that these means are the God in and of themselves. No, it is actually Allah letting them do that. And it so happens that it is a sequence. But means do not govern Allah. Just as He can work with the means, He can work without the means. A very beautiful question. Do you think that your parents' existence was necessary for your existence? The answer to that question would be weird, because maybe you've not thought about it. But actually, my parents' existence is not necessary for my existence. In the larger picture of things, my parents are just a means for my existence. But actually, Allah had the capability of making me exist even without the parents. And now that is weird, because everyone was born. Look at yourself, you were born, you have parents. Look at your parents, they were born. They had someone who gave birth to them. He brought Adam without father and mother. He brought Isa alayhi salam. He created them. He created Isa without a father. And this is meaning Adam alayhi salam's existence goes back, is without, there are no means. It is Allah creating him directly. And there are no means of the fatherly necessity with the creation of Isa alayhi salam. So that Allah is capable of doing things without the means. And the same thing can happen. Allah can work against the means. That when you look at the scenario with Ibrahim alayhi salam, the means actually, under normal circumstances, fire burns. That's what everyone expects. But now Allah commands the means. Allah tells the means not to burn Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, genius in his brain, he does not attach any control to the fire, but he submits to He who controls the fire. And he says, Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for me, and He's the best handler of my affairs. So, dear brothers and sisters, means are just means. And we need to carefully differentiate between the means and He who is behind the means. Yes, we are supposed to be thankful to whoever brings us what Allah is providing for us. You're supposed to thank your employer. You're supposed to thank the people who do good for you. But if that comes at the expense of actually devoting yourself to the actual provider, then our belief is at risk. Because if we really want to strengthen our belief, especially when we are borrowing a leaf from the belief of the grandfather of believers, it is important for us to differentiate and know that means are just means.